Hello, welcome to episode 3 of SoloFactory. This is season 2 of course, playing through the game again, or from the beginning, with a controller. Playing on PC, console is out later this year, I believe it's November 5th, I believe they put the date on that. So we may even have a crack at it on there just to see what it's like. But we are playing through this game again from the beginning. So what have we got? So we've progressed a fair way through the tiers. As you can see, we've completed the first 3 completed now. We've got all of these hub ones, we've done all of these ones. Eventually cleared all these structural solutions, which are mod-based ones, got them done. Went through these ones. Activated Mark II belts and the Awesome Sink. Mark III, we got steel production up and running, which is needed for the various space elevator parts, and we've just got these 4 remaining milestones on tier 4. That one there is a mod, so that's not counted in the part of the base game, but fix-it blueprints, expanded infrastructure, power infrastructure, and hypertubes, which are a way to get around real quick. So that's what we've got now. I don't have an active milestone at the moment because I'm not actively working on one. But you can also might have noticed in the top right hand corner we have made 1,000 smart plating plates. Actually, is what they are. That is you can see the first of the 3 parts for this particular phase of the space elevator. That was all been done, if you recall, in the end of episode 2. It was all been done basically where I am now. Down this sort of bottom area of this little sort of mini factory I've started to build here. I have since redone this area because we are on the process of trying to get versatile frameworks made, which is that middle one, middle item. So to make those we need come down this list till we get to versatile frameworks, which are there. So you see we need modular frames and steel beams. So steel beams are just made from a steel ingot, and they're made from a combination of iron ore and coal, so we'll show that in a bit. So it's made from that. Modular frames, however, require 3 smart plates each one, and 12 rods. So what I've done is this bottom section is now just making those rods. So if I just jump up here and see if we can jump up. I missed it. So just jump up here. Let's give a bit of view of this. Yep. So you can see we've got a couple of smelters up there. 1, 2, and a smelter there. So those 2 smelters are running at 150%. They're overclocked, producing 45 ingots per minute. That miner through there is actually a Mark II miner because we've actually unlocked that level. And that's also overclocked to provide 90 a minute. It's on an impure node, so it's got to be a bit powered up. That's producing 90 a minute of those 2, out of those 2, into these 3 constructors, which then turn those into 60 plates collectively across the 3 of them, and they then split evenly between these 2, requiring 30 a minute. This side, which has got 1 smelter there, going to 2 constructors, making iron rods, goes into 3 constructors, sorry, making screws, which feeds these the screws they need. So to look at that again a bit closer, so we come down here. So this is just making 30 a minute, and then we'll come out here, needs 15 a minute, outputs that. Each one's outputting 15. Yep. See, that was also outputting 15. They feed into these 3. That's running 100%. I think the end one's been down tracked, no, 400% and 40%. So 40 each, so for 120 total. And then if we come out of here, they are fed into that, and they split into there because each one needs 60 each. So that's where that's all coming into. And the other one you can see is 60 there. And then this little section, as I said earlier at the beginning, is overclocked to 150, making 45 each. 45 ingots come out combined, then get split 3 ways to feed that one, each one 30, and they are producing 20 plates each, so 20 times 3 is 60, and we are then coming to here and splitting that evenly between this one, which requires 30. And as a result, we're now getting 10 reinforced plates per minute coming out of these 5 each out of this setup. It goes up there, which is where we've got another sort of a slight setup. Up here, right in front of us here, is the steel beam production. So that's making 45 a minute. So the iron ore comes in from over here, over that, basically that winding path over through there is where that one comes in. And then it comes into here at 120 a minute, gets split evenly. This is making iron rods, all this stuff. So we've got, I think there's 4 there, getting 15 each basically, or 30 each. So how does that all work? That can't be right. Yeah, so that comes out of that, comes into to here. So you can see is making iron rods. At the moment I've got it making rotors just because I needed some for another milestone, but that's just a temporary thing. And we've got all 4 of these just going straight into a constrainer belt container. Is all fit out to here, so we'll get rid of all this in a moment, but that's just temporary. So what we've got to make up here, we've got to make iron modular frames. So they'll use these guys. So we'll basically redirect this, basically, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it just yet, we'll figure that out in a moment. We'll grab this tower in a moment and have a look at some spacing. And we've got the iron ingot, the steel beams coming here to help us make modular frames. Once we've got those modular frames, we will then join that with, if we jump back into our recipes, come down to the bottom, most of our frames require just straight up steel beams, whereas the modular frames require the rods, 12 rods per one and 3 plates per, and we get 2 out of each. We've got to make 1,000, so we've got to make a fair few. So that's why we've sort of built it up like this. So let's jump up in here to see how we're going to maybe look at laying this out. Because we'll get rid of that setup making the rotors because they were just a temporary thing. So so if we look at the layout and the requirements, as I said, the modular frames require the rods and the reinforced plates. So as a result of that, we will probably look at maybe sending the reinforced plates. No, I've got to figure out because I've got the coal run there, so trying to think, what could we look at doing here? So, thinking. If we take we get rid of the 3 constructors there and that assembler, which gets rid of that rotor setup that I had, and we basically take the reinforced plates basically straight up there. We can then combine those with those rods through So each one will only give us 2, so we might end up making a couple of them. We're making 10 a minute, and and each one requires 3. So we might set up 3 assemblers at that end, which will require us to provide 3 9 plates, which we've obviously got enough because we're making 10, and 12 each for each assembler, 36 rods. I think we're making close to 60 across the 4 of these. So, as a result of that, we might just feed... Just check those. Oops, that's good. A bit to fall down. Let's just see how many... I think each one makes 15 a minute, is that right? Yeah, so 15 a minute. 15 a minute, so we could basically effectively feed 3 of them to us. We might just leave this one going to storage. Let's first get rid of all this other stuff we've got for this rotor setup, so we've got the space over here. Let's just get rid of all this. So, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of... actually, leave that there for a minute and let that all actually play out. Just let that actually finish going through this last little bit. Plates and rods only, rods, plates only. Right. So what have we got sitting in there? 500. Okay, so it'll take a little bit of time. Let's go. It'll give me time to clear up the rest of this. Okay. Done a bit of clean up. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And that will do for now. Basically, we'll keep playing that through. We've got 25 screws each one. 392 divided by 25 is 15. 15 times 20. Okay. We'll wait till the screws run out and then we'll stop the feed going in, so that's fine. Alright, now let's try and figure out how we're going to path this. I think what we'll do is we'll get the reinforced plates, which are just coming up there. We'll get them over to here somehow. And then we'll put the 3 assemblers basically in front of us. And then we'll bring a row of each out of each one of these containers. I just realised that's not even straight. Oh, how embarrassing. We'll fix that in a bit. We'll fix that up. So we'll feed one container into each assembler. And then we'll use some sort of load balancing setup for the reinforced plates. That will then make us our modular frames, which then need to be combined with the steel beam that's been made from here. So we'll have to figure out how we get that back. Because once we've got the modular frame again, so once we've got our versatile framework, which is also made in assembler, we need 2.5 modular frames per minute to feed one assembler and 30 beams. So okay, this is going to be a bit tricky because I'm not sure I'm making that much. We're only making 15, we're only barely making that because we're running under when it comes to this. Okay, we might have to do some more. So we need to... okay. So if we need... oh, it looks like I've only got enough. If I doubled this output somehow and got 30 a minute from that of that process, we can only have one machine making the versatile frameworks. Which is a little bit not perfect. Alright, so that's going to run it in a few production cycles, so let's just start doing this. Mass dismantle. No, let's try that again. Mass dismantle. Oops. The downside of. It's not the easiest doing that with a controller, it must be said. Right, so that's that bit cleared out. Right, let me think how I'm going to get this. Oops. So, if I was actually... have I got them? Because I know at one point... no, we don't, but I think they're in the Awesome shop. So, give me a second. What I'm thinking of is going and buying from the Awesome shop. I actually might have them in my little... in the Awesome shop's cart, so we'll have to look at that. What we can buy is from the Awesome shop, we can buy some, essentially... just to show it to what I want to buy. They are in... where are they? Not management? Yeah, we see we can buy these things or those things. Conveyor belt more. Actually, that would be better. So we have that. We can basically hang the lift, the belt, from the ceiling. So I need a coupon for that. I don't think I've got one anywhere at the moment. No. So what do we need for the next coupon? We need 775 points. Well, I've got an extra... oh yes, we have also unlocked bigger containers, so we've got much more of these. I wonder what 500 wire will give us. I'm sure we don't need that much. Unlock too bad. Good. I'm just going down by about a dozen each time. So yeah, the coupons, even though it says just over 500 to get one now, they go up incrementally massive to the point where towards the end of the game you need millions of these points to get it. But that won't take that going in there, and I've got an absolute bucket load of wire there, so that's not a problem. I've got over, I don't know what it is. How much is it? I go dismantle. There you go, 11,172 wire, so a lot of wire. So that's probably just about done. 145. We'll buy that, and that allows us to bring that belt run into the... in fact, I might even try and get... why don't I try and get that little conveyor belt lift floor hole as well. So we'll try and get two of them. I'm very interested just just by the way of what this is going to, how this one's going to work. Because there's a mod that currently does that, that gives you a throughput counter, and it's very neat. But they've now put it into the base game, which is cool. But I'm not sure what they've tied it to. So it's obviously not available just yet. So I'm guessing it's linked to one of the existing tiers. So there's our first coupon. So we'll grab that. While we've got that, we'll go buy the that, so that we can. Didn't expect him to
As
hurt us.
Fixit amply demonstrates, you can never have too much management.
No, okay. So what we'll do is we'll bring this up, but rather than it going on that side, if I grab the belt, see how that's doing that? We just bring it along to here. Actually, I might even bring it right in the middle. I think I'm going to actually take what we'll do. Get rid of you. And then grab, don't need Mark 2, put off belt, do. Let's bring it right down the middle, past here, and just we'll go to there to begin with. Not really sure how to actually. If we now go back into here, logistics, Mark 1 will be more than enough. And we go up. I think that's high enough. It's a bit hard to tell from down here. Looks about right. Let's grab that. So if we now we go that into there. Change it to straight. There we go. Alright, that looks pretty cool. Right, so now what we'll do is we'll make, I think I might have gone a bit too far with this, but it doesn't matter. We'll hopefully get that whole conveyor belt hole thing, so we can just put a little conveyor belt lifter that basically just goes into that top bit. Hopefully there's now another coupon in the awesome shop. We can buy that. Oh, okay, the wire just finished. So the 500 wires gone in. Oh my god, we haven't got enough for the next one. Right, as I say, it does get. I wonder how much cable's worth. So I think the wire was worth about 1,200 each. Worth about 12, sorry. Let's just go down to 275. Oh wow, that's worth a lot more. Alright. Oh, do I get 2 coupons there or 1? Oh, I've got 2. Cool. Alright, so we want that guy. And we'll leave the other one for the time being. We'll just grab that one. Right. So now we should be able to put a hole in the, basically a hole in the floor just near where we've gone that belt run. We should be able to basically, how I generally do this is we grab the lifter. You see it's putting that platform there, so we can see we've got to bring it just to the edge of that. Right, so now we go into, let's show you how to make what this is made of. Okay, we got enough to make it? Yes. So we basically put it there. And come back into our lift. Rotate him round. No, that's not right. That will do. Alright, now that should hopefully... Oh, it's actually not too bad. Actually, it's really good. So now we go grab another lifter, and we'll make him that way. And we should be able to... Right. So, if we need... Well, I'd like to have 3, but... Based on... Anyway, we'll build our 3. What we'll do is we'll build 3 assemblers. With one I'm lining up on that side. I can push forward a fair bit, just gives a bit more space, so that'll do. And put one more. I was hoping to put another one there, but I can't for some reason. I think there's something in the way. So we'll come this way and just put a second one there for the time being. Right, maybe that's in the way, don't know. Right, so get rid of you. So, at least at a minimum we'll just grab another logistics, grab the splitter at the bottom. Comes in there and splits. What do we do? There. So now we'll come out of there into there. And split one right into there. With our straight mode turned on, we'll just go to that one. Right, now we've got that splitting. Oh, let's go set the recipe first. Modular frames. Modular frames. Right. So now what we need is to feed it the iron rods. So we'll feed it straight from here. Now, was that the one that was actually... That one was actually straight, wasn't it? Yes. So, what we'll do is... trying to think what's the best way to do this. It might just be a bit crude with this and just get it going. So if we just go that way and that, and then we put logistics, lift, and we basically do that. This will look kind of ugly, but it will work. That will do. So that's going to go straight out of that. Oh, how on earth did I manage to do that? Try that again. That's what I was after. There we go. There we go. That'll go straight into that. Let's grab some power off of this guy. And feed you. So you're now ready. You'll start getting rods soon, I hope. You can see them just in the top. There we go. Takes a minute to make it, but it does do make 2 of them. So, if we were to do something similar, this is the one that's not straight, so I'm actually going to fix this. Have I got enough? Maybe. Yes, we do. Cool. So, let's make another one. That's better. Okay, so that's now that, so let's grab that and bring that out to here. Again, a little bit ugly, but at this point, these are all relatively temporary structures that you're doing here, because you're never really going to have the factory that you start with is never going to be one you end up retaining. You end up rebuilding it multiple times to make things better or whatever. Take advantage of other materials or whatever. Faster belts, whatever. Now, what it's going to be is, how is this going to lay it out? Hey, that'll look. That'll do. Alright, so you're no power, so we'll grab some power off you to go to you. Alright. So we should see some rods already going down into there. That's cool. And there. Right. I'll get rid of you. And get rid of you. So we should already have some frames built. We do. Excellent. So that's using 6 of our 10. So, I said I would like to build a third one. Now, why couldn't I fit one in here? Production assembler. Why can't I fit one in here? What am I clashing with? Must be clashing with that. Alright, so let's just bring that one forward so at least we can fit it in. So if we come that way, flip it around. Okay, it's a little bit tight. Actually, the obvious thing to do would be to remove... yeah, okay. Okay, this is what we'll do. We'll grab you and put you straight into that. Then we'll change you. Basically feed you from there straight into that. And then... so that's feeding that one. You make the frameworks. Oh, it's a bit tight through there. Now, what we'll do is... I think we've got enough. We go. Put you there. So that's now connected those three up. They're now going to be receiving stuff. So what we can now do, just get rid of this. And that's what I was fearing would happen. Now that I've started to put more on it, I have blown the fuse. So this is going to take a little bit of work because now we've got to figure out how I can expand the power production. Alright. Let me go and fix this and we'll fix that and then I'll do a bit more of that and I'll come back when it's hopefully all operational. Well, that took longer than I thought it was going to take. As you can see, I've doubled our generator size from 4 to 8. That required a couple of things. One, as you can see, I needed to rerun the belts from the 2 coal miners that are way down there. The top one is just feeding these 8 generators. The bottom one goes into the setup for what we actually started this video on, all that modular frame stuff and all that bits and pieces. This one comes up here, goes into a manifold setup. So across there like that. Did we jump up on? Let's jump on the back of one of these. So this will give us a good view of the new water extractors I had to deal. So you see it comes across like that. That's a bit of a concern that the very far one is getting less than I would like. think about that one. There's the 4 water extractors. Each one feeds a pair of the generators. So we've gone from 300 to 600 megawatts. These generators are not actually connected to anything yet. They're not connected to the main grid. They are just powering the 2 miners down there and nothing else. I'm concerned though, these last 2, as to whether they're going to be... Yeah, they're already down to 82. So we're not getting enough, even though there's enough there. This is a manifold setup. So the very first lot will always be very well served by the setup. But the latter ones will slowly miss out. Though there should be enough. The miner's going 120. Each one of these needs 15 coal per minute. So 15 always a mass in this game. 15 times 8 is 120 on the nose. I was just on the miner, it's definitely running at 100%, so it's not understocked. The belt's running at 120, so that shouldn't be any bottlenecks. The question is, what might be causing the ladder ones? Have we got Mark 2s everywhere? We've got Mark 1 stuck somewhere, do we? That could be slowed down. This was at 80 odd a while ago, now it's at 75. So eventually that will run out and eventually turn off, and that will do the same. That one looks okay. Yep, that one's fine. So let's think, if we have 2 go offline, that's 150 megawatts lost. So we go down to 450. I think that's going to be okay. So we might just activate these and add them to the rest of the grid. We're basically connecting this power pole up to that power pole. So that will now put connected onto here. So you can see we've got 600 capacity, making 600 for the time being, and we're consuming around 270. So even if we drop to 450 with a couple of them going offline, we're going to be okay. So we'll leave it for now, but I'll have to go back and figure out a better way to run those last 2 generators. So where were we? We were... Let's just double check. So down here we're making a bunch of plates, which are now back up and running after having no power for a while. We're a bit low on the plate production or something. Was that what it was? Well, at the after the power outage, it's going to be a bit of time before they all get back up to proper speed. Right, up here we were making modular frames, that's right. Got a couple hundred sitting in there, 228. So not sure how these are running at the moment. We know we should be have enough plates because we're making 10 a minute down there. That's that other belt run for coal that comes into here. because that's feeding this thing over here. Now we've got 120 a minute coming into here. We might be able to now make a bit more here. Because we're going to need a bit more. So, versatile frameworks need still beans from that container to be mixed with the the frames from this container. Question is, how do I get them together? We could actually, what we might do, it'll look a bit ugly, but we'll feed it back round. I don't think we're going to need very much of it, so we'll go to mark 1, come out of the bottom here, make that straight. Rather than actually around the back of this belt, and the back of here, so we'll come along here. We'll come. It's not the best thing. That's a bit ugly. Try that again. Out here. Put that there for the time being. What we might just do, let's just put one assembler here, just to get this thing going. Lazy, we'll just do. That's good. It's going to line up. Oh, it's lining up very close. It's a bit good luck rather than design, but I'll take it. Reverse it. No, that's actually what I do. Don't reverse it at all. I'll just come out of that. Go across there. That's like pretty crude, but that will do. We should better put another container. Here it is. Make versatile frameworks out of it. Yeah, where's the nearest power pole? That'll do. So what is it? 2.5 a minute. So once we get everything back up and running fully, clearly a lot to come out because they're all coming out of the container that they were doing. But now that we've got everything back up, that's running 97%. They'll probably eventually get to back up to 100. That's running 95. And that's running 100%. I'll just do that. Means effectively at 2 a minute each, that's 6 a minute total. Could with this capacity, we've got 6 a minute. We're only using 5. Oh, sorry, 2.5. If we were to double the output of this, that would go to 5 a minute, but requires 60 beams per minute. And I'm barely making. I'm making here. I'm not even making 15 a minute. So to go up to 30. Now to go up to 60, yeah, I couldn't do it with that. I'd have to, even if I doubled that to 30, I'd need 2 at 30. Which means I'd need, plus you'd be doubling that 60 per minute ingots to 120, you'd need 240. I don't think I can even do that. So we might just leave it for the time being. We've got nearly 3,000 beams sitting in there, so that'll just spit out its stuff, which is fine. And we've got 10 already, so that will do for now, I think. So we've got 10 so we've got what, 2.5 a minute? No, 2 a minute? Oh, 5 per minute, so it's actually not too bad. Should be okay. I think we'll be okay. So we'll make our 5 minutes. Let's just jump up here. Just double check what we've got up here. So, bit of a mess as it always is. So we've got our 4 smelters coming in, going into 4 constructors. All of those 4 are making rods. 3 of them are then fed into the 3 assemblers making modular frames along with steel reinforced iron plates, which are made down below. They're going to that container. That container's then feeding them out to here. Here we've got steel ingots being made, being fed into a constructor, making steel beams, going to this container, being fed also into the same assembler, which is making versatile frameworks. We need 1,000 for the, we need 1,000 for the space elevator. So that is on its way to do that. Is making 5 a minute if I can keep everything fed to it. So if you do the maths, 1,000 by 5, you essentially get how many minutes it will take to make it. So do some quick maths on that. Tries to use his phone to do that. Divided by 5, obviously it's 200 minutes, so over 3 hours of just having this game running should make that happen. I'm just going to dismantle this container, take the rotors with it, store them over here. Here. We'll grab those, and that will do for now. Now I've chosen a milestone there of expanded power infrastructure. Just not really sure why I specifically chose that one. What do we get for it? Oh, we get the power storage. That's probably why I wanted it. Power storages are basically batteries. And the power towers... The power tower. I never did use them on the previous saves. I'd be curious to see what that's like. You can also make a... I'm not too sure where you make it. Maybe you make it in the... in this thing. No, don't. Maybe it's unlocked when you make it. But you can actually make a like a zip liner. That basically allows you to zip along using the power poles or using the power lines. So it's one way to get around the map quickly. So we'll see what that's like. But anyway, right. I think that will basically do it for episode 3. I think. Now, let's just quickly go check what these power generators are doing. I suspect the two closest to us will be quite low in their level of coal. And at some point they will just turn off because they won't have enough coal to run. Couple of options. In fact, I think they've already started to turn off. And that's already yellow, so I think that's already going to be out of... Oh no. No, it's actually going up slowly. I think. Just seeing at what point it goes to 70, so about... slowly getting... The way you sort of judge it is you're looking at when it goes to 60, drops from 70 to 69. Just seeing if that is getting... I think slowly... Yeah, okay, I think we might be okay. Let's just get back up on top of it. Let's get a visual on how this... See, as the manifold works, you see it's backing up along the way, so as it backs up further down the train, early on in the chain, more goes past it. So that one's 62, 63 is changing there. Okay. It might be okay. I mean, in theory it should be okay. Because it is 120 being fed into it, it requires 120. So even though it's right on the money, it should work. So we'll see how that goes. Alright. That will do for episode 3. So we've doubled our power generation. And we're on our way to making the second element, or the second part of the phase 2 requirements for the space elevator. Obviously we're now not making smart plating anymore. At some point that will come back and we'll need to make it again, because it'll be required in something. So yeah, at some point we'll probably end up redoing this factory, as you do a lot in this game. And we'll just see what we need to do. But yeah, I think that'll do for episode 3. Yeah, thanks for watching. And until the next one, thank you very much.